Welcome to best tip number 3 for my series of the best tips for the easily distracted homeschool mom. Hi friends, welcome to Joyful Noise Living. My name is Ashley. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you have found my channel, and I love usually sharing about homeschool budgeting tips, how to do homeschool in an affordable way, and many good tips to encourage homeschool moms. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm in the middle of my series of the best tips for the easily distracted homeschool mom, and this has been so fun. I am on tip number 3. So if you haven't seen the first 2 yet, I'll link them up here. You can watch the first 2 videos here, or I'll put them down in the description box below so you don't miss those. So go and check those out after you watch this one. In my first video, I explained my introduction about what it means to be an easily distracted mom and what the reasons why I'm doing this and who I am and my experience with that. So you can go check that one out too. Hey, be sure if you like any of this to give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the little bell for notifications on the next video for this series. I've got one more video coming out after this for this series, and you don't want to miss out on that. Okay guys, usually moms like us like to do all the things, right? All the things. I can get so excited and passionate about the next best thing that I'm always wanting to try new things, new events, new activities, new curriculums, new everything. And I get so excited trying to do everything, right? Is this you? I can find that my schedule and my to-do list can fill up. They can fill up really fast, you know, like soccer, gymnastics, swimming lessons, nature walks, co-op, play dates, grocery shopping, you know, all the things here and in between. There's so many things to fill our schedules with as homeschool moms. Or I fill up my to-do list, right? Laundry, cleaning the house, calling a friend, reorganizing the hall closet, sweeping the floor, attending the garden. You know, all these things can get so full so fast. But I notice when my calendar is bursting at the seams, that doesn't give me and my kids time to focus on the really important things. Because there's a lot of really good opportunities out there, a lot of really good things, but we are finite humans, we have a capacity, and we can't do all the things. There's not enough time in the day, right? I wish there was more time in the day. Don't you ever wish that you get to the end of a day and you're just like, where did my time go? I did not do half the things that I wanted to do. But that is how life is, right? We all have a capacity. We have family members that have their own capacity, and we have to take all of these into account when we put things on our schedule. I had my first tip in video 1, and last tip we talked about prioritizing your ideas. Today I wanted to talk about don't overload your schedule or your to-do list. That is my third best tip for the easily distracted mom. So here's a little bit more about my story. I made the hard decision a while ago when my children were younger to say no to a lot of good things. And I think that was a great decision. At the time, I felt a little crazy because before I had children, I was the friend and the person who was doing all the things. All through high school, I did newspaper, soccer, yearbook, theater, cheerleading, bodybuilding. That's a little known secret, but I just told you guys. But anyway, I did all the things all through high school, even in college. And so having children, and when I had children, I expected to still be able to do all the things. And I learned very quickly that that is not the case, unfortunately. So I made the decision to say no to a lot of things, and I did not want to overload my family because some of us were running ragged. I was having discipline issues with the kids. I was feeling overwhelmed. My husband felt overwhelmed. Once I got over the fear of missing out and I quit comparing our homeschool to other people's homeschools, because I would be looking at other moms either on Instagram or on the internet or even some friends and being like, well, they do blah, 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 you know, and that family does blah, 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 blah. But I realized that these families aren't saying yes to everything. They're saying no to some things so that their family can do X, Y, Z. And they've only chosen X, Y, Z. And the only thing is, in my mind, I'm like, oh, X, Y, Z over there looks cool, and B, C, D looks cool over there, you know, like, and I wanted to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X, Y, you know, I wanted to do it all, but I realized as a family, I can't do it all. I have to pick a few things and stick with it. And that has helped me stay focused. So what has helped me is this, like in the previous video, when I know my goals for my family, when I know what my priorities are, I was able to not get distracted with all the fun, fancy creative activities out there, and I was able to pick what was best for my family that we could focus on. So for example, I'm going to share with you just briefly what are some of the things that are important to my family. These may not be the same as yours, but as I list these off, you can start thinking of what you think is important for your family and your homeschool. So what is important to our family? Homeschool is probably one of the first ones. I consider homeschool as my part-time job. I put energy into it as if it were a job. Music is really big for our family. We try to do piano lessons. We also try to get our instruments out and play and sing with the kids. I do music all throughout the day, and I include music curriculum in our daily activities with the kids. Time with friends is very important. We have game nights, as you can see probably behind me. We often have game nights with couples, or my husband has guys over for game nights. We also just as families, we get together with our closest friends. Art is very important. My daughter is very, very good at drawing and art and crafts, so I make sure she has time and space and resources for her to do that. Rest time is really important for us because I have a few introverts in my family, which is really hard for me to understand as an extrovert. I don't get it still, just kidding. I know I need rest time because if I overflow my schedule, I get overloaded as well, and I get to a breaking point. Nature and getting outside is also huge and important. We go on walks, we go camping, we go hiking, all that stuff. Two more things is doing things together. Our family believes that doing things as a family is more important right now than putting our kids in individual activities. And then lastly, I put on here growing a love of learning and a love of reading books. I make sure we have a lot of books available for my kids and that we have reading time throughout the day. For an example, for what is less important for us right now, which again may be different for your family, is organized sports. We're not doing that right now. We've chosen that that's not as important for this season of our family. That may change, and I'm hoping it changes soon. I'm really excited to put my children in gymnastics or soccer. I've been waiting for so long. And then also individual activities. We do a few things here and there, but we really don't do a lot that's just for one person in the family. So these priorities in my family may change, and they will change as our children grow and as we go through different seasons. But this is what they are for right now, and I will revisit it in the future. And moms, this is what's hard for us, is we're not just making decisions for us, we're making decisions for the whole family, right? With these activities. And I know it's difficult, but stick with it and remember to check these activities if they line up with your priorities. So every opportunity that comes along, whether it be for myself or for my children, I check and make sure that these line up with my priorities. And if it doesn't, then I say no. And if it does, then I consider it and see if we can do it. But then once we are at max capacity, and I know what max capacity kind of is for our family, then I stop and I don't add any more activities. And it has been so great because it's left room for spontaneity. It's left room for rest. And those have been such good things for my family. It helps me to be able to focus and not get distracted by all the fun, shiny opportunities out there, because there are a lot of them, right, guys? There's tons of them. You can easily fill your schedule with church things, school things, you name it, sports, everything. So pick what is most important for your family and stay focused. You will see the benefits, I promise, I promise. All right, so that was my third tip, was to not overload your schedule or your to-do list, and to keep things to a minimum and try not to go beyond max capacity, and to stay focused on what you know is important for you and your family right now in this season. Not in the season you'll be in 10 years, because it will be different. And even when you have toddlers, I know how it goes, it's gonna change month to month, but just stick with it for what is good for right now, and you will see the benefits in your homeschool and in your home. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and check out any of the other videos I have. I love to talk about how to homeschool preschool. And again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.